All right, welcome to another episode of Whiskey and Friends from the Whiskey Pug. Today we're going to talk about The Room and we're going to drink Four Roses. Yeah. And Jay's going to drink a Manhattan, so it's a good choice. It's a good choice. It was about time Jessica and I shared a drink.
Absolutely. Is there a San Francisco-based drink that would be more fitting for this movie? Because I can't think of any.
Oh, man.
Right? For all that stock footage of San Francisco that was in that film.
I've really no idea. They probably have a lot of craft beer.
Probably.
I think that's a good guess. By the way, we're reviewing 2003 Tommy Wiseau's The Room, not Room with Brie Larson.
Very different than the Oscar-winning picture.
Right.
It'd be cool if we had like some music playing while we poured our drinks and stuff.
Yeah, but we would get copyrighted like immediately. I gotta find like a local artist or somebody who's not like that heavily licensed. You know, Universal won't come after me or something.
I have a ukulele right there. It could be me.
You play ukulele?
During quarantine, I tried to teach myself because an ex of mine gave me a ukulele, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like hide this because I was like, I don't know if I want like, even though it's adorable and fun, I don't know if I want that kind of reminder. But now I feel like it's long enough away that I'm like, hell yeah, I can use that.
I have a similar analogy. I have a ukulele back in Puerto Rico that an ex gave to me because I play. I always played guitar when I was a kid, and I started playing bass like in I think when I was 16. And so she wanted to add another instrument to the collection. All right, cheers.
Did you at some point also pick up Venezuelan Cuatro?
I do have it. I never learned how to properly play it. My mom can play it a little bit of it, but she never got
lessons.
Lessons, right? She never got lessons. All right.
Isn't that how that usually works? Like you just have someone in the family that knows how to play like the traditional instruments, and then suddenly you know. It's like me with the guira.
Well, no, because you don't need to properly learn anything to play the guira. By the way, Jessica, have you ever had a rye?
Yes.
Doesn't this have like a lot of rye in it?
It definitely does. It is spicy.
Yeah, it is spicy, sweet, cinnamony.
It is delicious. There are definitely so many notes, and I have definitely more of a newbie palate. So I always appreciate drinking with Franklin because he is a very experienced palate, and he always brings up notes that I'm like, oh, I don't taste that, but okay. Mm-hmm. And then the more there we go, yes.
And then immediately that next sip, you get those notes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there they were the whole time, right under my nose.
Exactly. So I always appreciate it.
Thank you. So I don't know, like
it pays to be a noob. You get to experience stuff for the first time.
Yes.
It's very it's very hard to describe rye in words unless you taste it. Because remember the first time I tried rye, I think it was Bullet Bourbon. And it tasted so different to my Four Roses. At least, like, it tasted very much like in an extreme towards being a rye because it's a rye and Four Roses is bourbon. But you can see that even Four Roses has like a high rye composition once you get used to the taste of rye, and it's very like spicy but very sweet at the same time. One thing I like about these. In the case of Four Roses and certain ryes that I've tried, like Knob Creek and Dad's Hat, is that they get sweet periodically, like as the minutes go. And if you take like after you drink the glass and you smell it, it'll always be like so honey sweet and vanilla and fruity. It's very interesting. That's as I mentioned in the previous episode. That's because with these types of whiskeys they use fresh oak. And so the newest oak has the higher component of vanillin, and so that diffuses into the whiskey. At least that's how it's made in America.
My goodness. I just learned so much right now.
I think I kind of repeat the same spiel every episode. That's like the thing that basically sets apart American whiskey and Scotch. And it's also why Scotch uses American barrels. They want used barrels, so it's not that sweet. But anyway, what you feeling? What you getting?
Oh my goodness, I definitely get a more complex note because I usually prefer bourbon because I have a sweet tooth and I like corn. But I definitely the flavor palette changes immediately. So you drink it, it changes from when you smell it, when you drink it, in front of your tongue, in the back of your tongue. It goes like from sharp to like smooth. And I really appreciate that because I, as a very poor graduate student, am used to things that just stay sharp and they continue to be sharp.
Also, I really like the price for roses, you know.
Yeah.
Roses, for the quality that it has, it's such a cheap bourbon.
Oh, absolutely. And it is delicious. It's
I had such a nice double cast barrel.
The one, it was a cast strength. It was a cast strength.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, cast strength. Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. It was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It would have been nice if you had a bit of that for this episode, but you know,
if
someday.
I known we were gonna start this podcast before I drank it, you know. I kind of enjoyed that bottle much faster than I usually would.
Yeah, no, and I bet, you know, I haven't had a cast strength bourbon yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I just had a Knob Creek straight rye that's like 50%, and so it's very tasty. It's very, very tasty. So guys, what you think about The Room? We just finished watching The Room together, via Zoom, and it was an experience.
Yes.
It was enduring.
It was an experience and a half because it just dragged on for so long.
I know, right? Like mentally, like I'd seen compilation videos and things like this on the scenes.
The Watch Mojo ones?
The Watch Mojo ones. I'd seen the Honest trailer. I actually got a kick of it. I would always like look up the different lists in which they would include The Room. Mm-hmm. Because I was always eager to see if they were showing more of the movie or the same scenes or.
Right.
And it honestly was always so. It made me curious, but at the same time, I knew the movie was terrible. I just didn't imagine that on top of it being terrible, it dragged on for fucking ages.
Yes. It's hard because I always think about it, and this is like my 4th time seeing it. It is, which is not a flex at all. That's a sad waste of life. But I always come back to it because I'm like, I think of the memes, I think of the incredible clips, I think of the incredible quotes. Lisa, you're tearing me apart.
Yeah. No, the movie does have its redeemable qualities in it. That it's like, it's so bad. It's so bad that in a sense it's funny too. I guess in a way. It wasn't as funny to me to watch the whole thing because I had seen the scenes that are really funny, the scenes that are, you know, outright ridiculous that people had put in compilation videos and shit. And so because of this, I guess I didn't get as much of a kick out of it as, for example, you know, the 2000s, early 2000s, Facebook wasn't around, YouTube wasn't around, social media wasn't around. People really, you know, stumbled upon this and just, you know, we're trying to interpret it in any way, you know. It was kind of like watching the movie Rubber. You guys watch that movie?
Yes, with the tire, the horror film.
The tire. Yes. Yeah. Jay, did we play that in my house? Like
I think when
we were kids.
We probably put it on for like 10 minutes, and we're like, "This is bad."
think that's exactly what we did. We put it on for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we really, you know, we just consented to like not watch it anymore and watch something else. because
Like,
we were too young to understand such a gem. We were just like, this is fucking ridiculous,
It was
but
too high quality for us to enjoy.
too high quality.
What I love though about The Room, specifically talking about it in terms of Rubber, I feel like Rubber knows what it is more than The Room does.
Oh, The Room has no plot. The Room has no. Yeah.
And what I love about The Room, though, something that like fills my heart with joy, is that it's so earnest. Like, it was genuinely made to be an incredible movie, and like during the process, like there was obviously the movie disaster artist because the actors are like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
But the vision of Tommy Wiseau, it was intended not to be a comedy. It was intended to be a drama, a tearjerker. You're supposed to completely empathize with Johnny.
So
like,
you're laughing at the irony and his pain.
Yeah.
You're laughing at how much it sucks despite it being a serious attempt.
Exactly, and that's what I love, because it's not trying to be something like Rubber where it's like, oh, this is a funny concept. Like, let's try to make this seem serious.
Yeah, no, like they're intentionally being ironic, being stupid, and trying to, I guess, exploit that. Right. And in this movie, it's like a serious attempt in the mind of Tommy Wiseau to create something genuine, something interesting, and you know, in a way, despite the jokes lasting for so long and people rewatching this movie, honestly, like the movie feels kind of old-fashioned.
Yes.
Like it seems like it was made 40 to 50 years ago. And I would believe it because
I think while we were watching it, I think on this rewatch, I didn't realize how like misogynistic some of the lines were.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So true.
I knew about some of the lines that were a little weird, crazy, or explicitly misogynistic. But the whole movie felt like this old Mexican soap opera. Like it felt like this old Mexican novela where they're trying to make women like such hellish creatures. Like they're trying to make women seem like so possessive, interested in possessions only, and in like the next best thing or the next cute guy. And so I understand that in a sense the character of Tommy, well, what's his name in the movie?
Johnny.
Yeah. So the character of Johnny has a lot of redeemable qualities, and they make him to be like such a nice guy, and they make Lisa, such an evil person. And it's not to say that people wouldn't cheat or that people wouldn't be kind of evil, but it just kind of seems like this whole thing of, you're a woman and he's he's paying for everything. He has you here in this apartment, in this high, in this high part of society. He's your financial security. And so it just feels like really old themes. Like, well, why can't she get a job, right? She doesn't have to marry the guy, right? So why can't she just get a job and leave him and be happy doing something else, screwing Mark for all we care? But why does it have to be, the constant reminder by the mom that, but Johnny's your financial security. You don't have to love the man you marry. And we understand that the movie's making it seem that it's wrong, but at the same time, they're really piling up on Lisa and making her out to be such a negative character in the movie.
Oh no, absolutely. Like there's even that point where Mark says like, women, they're either too smart, which is like, can't it just be a compliment? Either women are like so smart, like too smart, like it's a problem. Either women are too smart, just flat out stupid, or evil. As a quote.
Only three ways, no other ways about it.
No other ways. It's crazy, and it's hilarious because the movie's so bad that it's like, okay, like, you go, Lisa. Like, at this point, I'm like, because at the same time, they're saying all these great things about Johnny, but there is nothing likable about Johnny on screen at all. Like, we have no reason to like him, but they're trying to force us to like him by being like, yeah, he has a great job. He paid for Denny's apartment. He paid for, like, all these wayward teens' apartment, like Michelle and Michael, whose names definitely were an afterthought in the movie.
Yeah. By the way, what's up with that scene where Denny goes like, I love Lisa?
Yeah.
And then 10 seconds later goes like, oh, I'm dating this other girl and I want to marry her as soon as I finish college. And I'm like, and I want to have a baby, I think he says. And I'm like,
What, Denny?
What other movie did this come out from?
What drugs is he on, right?
Right. Hell, that scene with the drug dealer. What movie was that out of? Like, we just started having like this panicky laughing fit because like Lisa's just looking at him like, what kind of money? Tell me what kind of money? And it's like just so overacted. And first of all, like, Denny is neither her or her mom's responsibility. Yeah. And they're just like fucking yelling at this guy, you know, screaming at him. Like if they just caught their young son smoking weed or something. And it's just so over dramatic, and it lasts like 3 minutes, you know. She's just yelling at him, and every time she's like getting more intense and he's getting like redder. I just paused the movie for a second because it looked like they were both laughing while acting out that scene.
Also, my favorite part of that scene specifically, there was a scene where, during that scene where Lisa's leaning into Denny and yelling and being like, where did you get this money, or what is this money for? And her forehead is cut off, like it's cut out of screen, like because she wasn't centered in the screen, and that is... Ooh, that's what keeps bringing me back to this movie. I'm like, yes. No one was like, should we like take two and like recenter? No. It is incredible, and it is genius. But also, I loved in that scene when, so Mark also trying without giving him any panache, anything to make us like him as a human being, except on paper, like the lists of reasons why we like him, which is like the list why,
you know, the nice guy list, right?
The nice guy list, exactly. But he's so like unlikable, and so like there's no warmth from him, there's no charisma from him. And that scene, though, to add to the nice guy list, when he takes the guy who is I'm assuming a drug dealer or someone who is looking for drugs, whoever that guy was with the beanie, holding Denny at gunpoint, asking for his money. When Mark and Johnny like grab him, and he still has a gun, they grab him and they take him down the stairwell and they say, we're taking him to the police.
And they come back like 20 seconds later, like, yeah, don't worry about it. He's gone. He's not coming back.
I'm so confused. They push him down the stairs, but then those stairs, it would be like you'd hit the wall and then you'd have to turn around to push him down more stairs because they're up so high. Just like, what's going on?
And let's not even mention the fact that Lisa's mom confesses that she's got breast cancer, which is, if I recall, the number one cause for death, or at least the number one cancer for that causes death in women in the United States.
Absolutely.
And she just goes like, don't worry about, hey, look at me, don't worry about it.
I think in one of the later conversations they have, she's like, I'm better.
She's
and she doesn't even bring up the breast cancer first in that conversation with Lisa. She's
right.
Like,
it wasn't right. It wasn't like at the top of the list, you know. It was like complaining, telling her that she's no good because she's leaving Johnny and she's not betting for her financial security. Oh, I also have breast cancer.
By the way, and Lisa does not react. She's just like, it will be bad. It's gonna be all right. And then they never bring it up. Like, I kept waiting for it to be like, even though I have seen this movie before, I'm like, I keep waiting for them to bring up the breast cancer again and be like, how's the breast cancer, Mom? And it's like, no, like, it's just like, I'm better. Cool, no other questions of what's going on.
Kristen Stewart was more emotive in Twilight than she was in that scene.
Oh, poor Kristen Stewart. I feel like she's done more stuff where she's actually emotive.
She's done a lot of stuff, and so has Robert Pattinson. I mean, Robert Pattinson has definitely, he's an incredible method actor, and he's like scary as hell when he wants to be. Yeah. And I think he till this day he will say it, like, he really hates that he is known as the Twilight guy by many people. He hates that he even did the movie. But at the same time, it was such a stepping stone for him to be able to work on the projects that he does nowadays. I think maybe even like maybe 10 years from now, some people will know him as the Twilight guy, but if he wins an Oscar or something, I honestly doubt that people will remember Twilight.
I honestly was surprised that he wasn't nominated for Best Supporting Actor for The Lighthouse. Did you guys see The Lighthouse?
I haven't seen it.
It's on it. Oh, we'll do it for this podcast.
We'll do it for the podcast? Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great. We should just like really just go through Netflix and those like good movies, but that nobody had time to watch because Netflix releases like 30 pieces of content every minute.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. There are so many like award-winning, like and critically acclaimed things on Netflix that I'm like even like Room, the movie Room, that is not this movie. I have never seen it, but I'll take people's word for it.
Brie Larson. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yes! Oh my god, I always forget that she was in Scott Pilgrim, which is like one of my favorite movies. It's so good.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
So good.
I still have the DVD back in Puerto Rico.
Bro,
that's another one we have to cover.
Didn't I tell you this? I bought it.
We watched it like 4 times in like a week.
Yeah. Hold on for 5 seconds because you're gonna feel pretty old. So this was after senior year. Or was it during senior year? Blockbuster from St. Mary's was closing, and they were having a clearance sale of their DVDs. So I went in and I bought like the first 3 Die Hards. I bought the Slumdog Millionaire, and I saw. Oh yeah, I fucking love that movie.
So good.
And I saw Scott Pilgrim, and so I bought it because it reminds me of you. It always reminds me.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah. We've been friends for so long.
How do I make pug noises? There was a pug in this movie.
Yes, there was.
We have to talk about also that scene is my favorite scene in the entire movie when the flower shop owner is like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you, Johnny." First of all, you can recognize this mofo from a mile away with his leather skin, his gigantic black cascading hair, his suit that doesn't fit because it's way too big and drooping on the ground. Like, there's no way.
Who else looks like Johnny?
No one! Not one person! He is one in a million. But also,
so not only did she say, "Oh, I didn't see you, I didn't recognize you," then she has the audacity to end that conversation with, "You're my favorite customer."
The audacity.
He comes in. It plays out so fast too. Like, "I want some flowers. Yeah, that's gonna be $18. Here, keep the change. Nice doggy, you're my favorite customer." He just like fucking leaves. It's like, whoa.
The truth is, actually, for that scene, they didn't like the the audio that they had before, so they dubbed over it.
Oh wow, it feels like that. I'm so happy you pointed that out because it feels like they are not saying those words live.
Oh boy. If my buddy Max was here to tell you about all the secrets behind this movie.
Yo, yes.
We should have had Max on. And by the way, what was that blue light? You looked blue for a second.
Blue. Nah, but that was my computer turning off.
I see.
Speaking of early 2000s, we need to take a deep dive into RuneScape.
Oh, no.
No, don't get him started. No.
So, the entire time we were watching the movie, I was like, "This will be a great time to grind. Let me do some Slayer, kill some Blood Belts. Let's go." I'm just there, like click, 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 something to keep me able to actually watch that movie because it was so awful.
Wait, there was a RuneScape
Great,
movie?
but it was awful. No, imagine there was.
Oh, okay. You meant like watching The Room because you were playing RuneScape at the same time.
Yeah.
Of course you were. We've been friends for how long? Almost 15 years. Is it? 15. Yeah. So it's gonna be 15.
Fuck, yeah, 15.
It's
We met
15
15
this
years
year.
ago.
Yeah, 15 this year. Yeah.
It's important for
That's
the
incredible.
listener/viewer to know that the RuneScape was being played at the same time.
This guy actually
Yeah, it's
got
level
me into
69.
it. You know, he got me.
He did, yes.
He got me into it, but I like played it for at least like maybe a month, and then I just kind of gave up. I felt it was like too slow paced for me. I'm just kind of like wired to play RPGs and certain games that I've just played over and over, because I like do so many. I try to do so many different things in my life, like podcast, and so sometimes I just like want to unwind with things that I'm already good at or I already do, like FIFA. I play FIFA, and I actually get better at it. Have gotten better at it over the past years to the point that right now I beat every single one of my friends.
Yeah. That's like when we started playing Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 back on the PlayStation.
Yeah, but I know better. I know better than to challenge you on 1v1 games. You learn quick.
Oh yeah.
This guy has been mashing buttons since he came out of the womb. Like,
it's also important for the viewer/listener to know that J-Lo is a professional Super Smash Brothers player. Like, goes to tournaments.
Not a pro. I go to tournaments. I enjoy. I'm a competitive smasher, and I love
he's
the
being pretty
community that I
modest.
have.
If anybody
being
wants to
super
challenge
modest.
him, Jay Lewis will be at a
game
corner
anymore.
in the Bronx with a GameCube and a small TV. If anybody wants to challenge him.
I might as well just post up on my local bodega. Be like, yo, you trying to get some games in?
It's $5 to enter the tournament. Bring your own controls and your shame.
Bring your shame.
Oh boy.
Bring your will to live. Bring extra. You're gonna need it.
Speaking of things that ended up being a different genre than the developer intended, The Room was supposed to be a serious drama, right? But
Right?
even on the
I know,
DVD
right?
cartridge, but even on the DVD cartridge that you have the case, it says it's a black comedy.
Wait, it does? I didn't even know that. Experience this quirky new black comedy. It's right. You are right.
It says this new?
Wait,
No.
it does say copyright 2005. So I think they probably released
Re-released
it and
it,
saw it was a flop, and they were like, we need to save face somehow. Also, it's vitally important, so for the viewer/listener to know that I was like, oh, I have it. We'll screen share and I'll play it on my laptop, which is a dinosaur because it has a CD-ROM in it. So I'm like, great, we'll play it. We'll screen share. And it didn't work, and I wonder if it didn't work for the same reasons why this movie didn't work in many levels. I don't know if it's supposed to. But also, when you open it, you guys, this is an exclusive. You hear that? Oh. First of all, this glamour shot, shirtless glamour shot of Tommy Wiseau comes inside. Look at that. Incredible. I don't see any shirt, but it's just like stops where the nip would start.
Yeah,
And on the other
for
side,
the kids.
right for the kids. The kids that are into dark comedies. On the other
a
side
movie
of
with nipples in it, no big deal. And several sex scenes.
Too
my
many.
God.
Too
Sex
many.
scene after sex scene. 26 minutes in and you're already on your
Right.
third. And they're
The
all
first-
fun.
The first 30 minutes of the movie had 3-4 minute long sex scenes.
Yes.
Wow.
It was a lot. And they were all way
And
too
they-
long.
they were all like, you know, very slow motion R&B music in the background.
Yes.
There were always roses involved, like, and of course Tommy Wiseau.
I'm never gonna forget him just laughing in all these scenes. He's like,
I love you, darling.
Oh my gosh, do you guys want to guess what's on the other side of this glamour shot? You guys each get 3 guesses. It's important.
is it Tommy's ass?
Close! It's close to his ass. It's close. You are very close.
15 minutes in. And you already know what Tommy's ass looks like.
You already know.
Jessica,
unfortunately
I honestly don't know if YouTube or Zoom are gonna let me put like a black box just like covering like whatever you're gonna show. Like,
oh, on the other side, it's not graphic, but it is ass related. That's a clue.
All right. Well, for the viewers and listeners, keep guessing, and after the pause, Jessica will reveal what's on the other side.
It is an order form for underwear with Tommy
No!
Wiseau on it. I kid you not.
I was trying to hint that we were gonna do a pause, Jessica, but Jesus Christ. and
put it in post.
pitch the underwear, please.
You guys. So
Just edit it in post, it's fine.
We gotta put it in post. You guys, it is size inclusive from an XS, so an extra small, to a triple XL. And you can order it, oh my goodness. So they're men's underwear. Keep that in mind. You can get a 2-trunk brief, like a tighty-whitey type of brief, a boxer brief, or brief open, which I'm assuming there's like an opening. Is that a thing?
I've never heard of brief open.
Or a boxer open. So like if it has like an opening, like so you can pee without taking off your underpants. Is that a thing that's real? Or is that
I
something
thought that was just standard. I just thought that was standard boxers.
Standard boxers, yeah.
Oh wow, because I guess they specify that they're open, so I guess the other ones that they have are closed.
Yeah, so those are the ones you
That's
gotta like drag down. Yeah, those
Yeah,
are the ones you gotta like drag
down.
down.
Pants down at the urinal.
Like you ever go to like maybe like, you know, a very public place like Disney or something, and always, you know, in the urinals you have these like old men that always like take their full pants down to go to the urinals.
Yes!
And then they're like teaching their kids to do it as well, and so their kids are doing it, and you go like, you look fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god, I was in Japan 2 summers ago because I invited myself on my dad's business trip, and the toilet is an Eastern toilet, or at least that's how they refer to it. Like they have Eastern toilets and Western toilets, and if I saw the word Western toilet, like I knew that was a stall I'd go into, because the Eastern toilets are exactly what you're explaining. Like you have to squat over them, like completely like ass to the wind, dingle bits to
it's
the
like the hole
wind.
in the ground.
Yes, and I tried like to be very like culturally like to really embrace the culture that I was in, and I completely pissed on my pants. Like, I could not get the aim right. I could not get the angle, because like as a woman, like you have to lean back and make sure that your pants, which are like around your ankles, like aren't in the splash zone.
You definitely do not build that muscle memory as an American.
Yes! Oh my goodness. So these people, like, it's incredible. Like, anyone who uses a toilet like that must be ripped. And that's beautiful. I wish I had those muscles. I wish. I'm envious.
And Tommy Wiseau ripped at that.
Oh my god, he was uncomfortably ripped. Like, right? Like,
all right. Well, we got to pause for a second, but we will come back and keep talking about toilets and Tommy Wiseau. Join us in a few. All right, welcome back. So if you were still wondering how to pee on Japanese bathrooms or how muscular Tommy Wiseau's ass cheeks are, this is the right show for you.
Yes.
All right, let me get the second sip.
Oh, I love that sound.
Yeah. Oh, on the Lagavulin bottles, the cork sounds so much. It's great.
Oh, yes.
Is that our next episode?
So great. What?
Is that our next episode?
No, there's gonna be a few. I think. I've certainly collected a few bottles. So anyway, I wanted to ask. You know, we can wrap this movie up in such a way, and we could, you know, we got so many quotes out of it. So what were your favorite quotes? Because like the movie has so many of them.
So many good ones.
I can try to do an impression of them, you know, since I'm
You know what stuck with me? Like, Johnny and Mark were supposed to be best friends. But every time
as
Johnny
they
said hi to
consistently
Mark-
said, Tommy is your best friend, man.
Yeah.
Tommy is my best friend.
You're my best friend, Tommy. DK Tommy, Mark.
I'm gonna help you cheat on him in 5 minutes, but
Every
let me just
time.
say he's my best friend.
Oh. Every time Johnny says hi to Mark, he just goes, "Oh hi, Mark."
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Even the not iconic "Oh hi, Mark." It's just every single
Oh,
time.
hi,
you see
Mark.
him, it's only "Oh hi, Mark." It's never like "Hey, Mark" or "What's good." You know, it's always "Oh hi, Mark."
It's
Like
funny.
you didn't see him there, as if he's not his best friend.
It's funny because when I worked my parents' cafeteria, we had this American customer whose name is Mark. He's doing business over there and stuff. And so one day when he says, I asked him, "What's your name?" And he says, "Mark." And so I go like, "Hey, anybody ever come up to you and go, 'Oh hi, Mark'?" And he says like, "Yeah, all the time." Like regrettably, like, yes.
It's a cursed name. Dad
But-
met Alexa, I feel. Like
Alexa.
that one's
Yeah.
Right? People born in the 2000s with the name Mark and Alexa, they're like, they're in for a rude awakening.
At work, we have a girl named Alexa, and
No.
so for the first year, people gave her like shit on, you know, Alexa, do this, and so she was like, I'm gonna change my fucking name. Fuck you.
I think Franklin had the same thing happen to him with Franklin the Turtle memes.
The turtle! He can count his numbers.
Honestly,
It
Franklin
touches.
the turtle did not bug me as much. What bugged me was when I was a kid, you know, when I was a kid, like 4 or 5, people would call me Frankenstein because Franklin is not a common name. That common back home. And I got the name from Venezuela because in Venezuela there's a lot of Franklins, Williams, and because it was just sort of like how the culture was adopted in the 60s and people started making up like names in English or using actual English names. And so it's my dad's name, Franklin. And so when I was a kid, there weren't a lot of Franklins around. And so people would say like Frankenstein, and Franklin the Turtle was rarely anybody said that. But then they would also call me Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Yeah. And so
Except in Spanish.
in Spanish,
Delano.
Delano kind of means of ass. So not intentionally, they were saying Franklin of ass. Right. And like teachers too. Teachers didn't like think about it because he's a historical figure, so they would go like Delano. Yeah.
Of the ass.
Franklin of ass. Of
He is the
ass.
knight of ass. We can see how his taste has developed over the years.
It's kind of
It
like
was a prophecy.
See, when I watched Meet the Parents and the dude's name was Gaylord Fucker, I felt so like I was like, dude, I know what you're going through. Not as bad, but you know, I know what you're going through.
I'm glad I never had it that bad with my names. I think the first thing they started calling me was Gay Lewis. And that was before I even knew what being gay was. I was like 8 at the time, and they're like, "Oh, he's gay. He's gay, Lewis." And I'm like, "Okay."
That was in the States, huh?
I just knew that it was supposed to be an insult, so I took it as an insult, you know? And so from then on, it was like, oh, being called gay is an insult, and it's like, it's that's
sort of how we were. That's how generations were before social media, Facebook, before constant debate and discussion over things such as homophobic slurs and things like that. Yeah. Like I think I watched Cobra Kai, and it's kind of funny how they bring they bring these characters having kind of the same slurs but not totally. I mean, like they go like, "What are you, a pussy?" And people go like, "Hey, you know, it's not right for you to." He goes like, "This is karate. I have to fucking beat your ass." So, what are you, a pussy?
What are you, a cobra?
As it so happens, every time I talk to Jessica, we got pretty sidetracked. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. But speaking of "Oh hi Mark," wasn't that? Oh, yeah, I love that fucking moment of like, it's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh hi Mark.
It's so good. It is classic.
And The Disaster Artist. That was like the funniest, possibly the funniest scene in the movie, when he's just trying to record that scene and he just won't remember the line, and eventually everybody in the crew memorize it, and they go like in chorus, "It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh hi Mark."
Incredible.
I don't know if it was like the first day on set or something that he was just super nervous. He couldn't remember the line.
It's so good. Oh my goodness.
Actually, did they put dubs on his audio like constantly throughout the movie? Because you couldn't understand. It looks like it was because you couldn't understand him really well. So probably he had to re-record the soundtrack for that. And so that's why his lips kind of
soundtrack.
I mean, record
as soon as that music came in right at the beginning, I was just like, "Ooh, the clarinet."
The clarinet. I died. J-Lo was like, "Ooh, the clarinet," and I was like, feeling it
before. Only on the fourth rewatch, you know.
Only on the fourth rewatch. Did you rewatch?
Didn't you want to name one of your kids Clarinet or something?
Yes.
Oh God.
First name Claire, middle name Annette.
Claire Annette.
Yeah.
That's smart, but that's no better than Jason.
Shut up.
I told him this joke for about 10 years.
15 years.
Well, I don't know if 15, but close.
Bro.
I told him this joke constantly since we were kids. Your son should be named Jason. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool name." So it was.
I was like, "Yeah, it'd be my son." Yeah.
Wasn't it like up until, was it last Christmas when you were here in Philly?
Yes.
It was last Christmas. He was here in Philly. We were having a good time drinking, watching Rambo, possibly. No. Yeah. Wait. We were watching Pulp Fiction.
That's what it was.
Because there's a scene in Pulp Fiction where I was gonna say John McClane, but I forget Butch. Where Butch gets into a cab, and so the driver's a Colombian lady, and so she asks him, "Your name is Butch? What does Butch mean?" And so he goes like, "I'm American, sweetheart. My name doesn't mean anything." And so, we talked about that, and I think that's when you mentioned like you wanted your daughter's name to be Clarinet, or no. So then I interrupted and I said like, "Well, in your case, if you named your kid Jason, it would mean something." He was like,
and then I just looked at him.
He was looked at me, and I was like,
it completely flew over my head.
He was like,
at the
"Jason,"
time, and I'm just
Jace.
like looking at him.
I said, "Jason, Jace, son," and then he went like,
my face slowly.
"Oh my God, my son's name could be a pun." I'm like, yes, that's what I've been telling you for years, man.
I don't know why that time was just so funny.
Such a missed opportunity.
One of those laughs.
Such a missed opportunity.
One of those laughs where we kept laughing over each other, and one would stop laughing, but then we'd look at each other again and just keep laughing again.
Yeah, it's funny. You're the one person from my like childhood that we have those laugh out loud. Those laugh out loud kid moments, yeah. like where you look at something and just can't stop laughing, and you like throw yourself on the floor laughing. So Jay's consistently the one person that I've been able to have these moments with since we were 11 years old.
That makes me so happy.
I just like to laugh. Franklin's pretty funny.
Oh, thanks.
I love this guy.
Oh,
it makes me so happy. I love like the relationship you guys have. It's so beautiful and it's hilarious and it's touching and it's like everything. It's beautiful. I love it.
You think?
You think?
I love hearing about your stories together too. Like back from high school, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. So it was funny because like even till this day we always kind of act like kids. Even we're adults, and we do adult things, but like at the same time we just laugh like kids.
Yes.
It doesn't. It doesn't change. Whatever we're doing, if we're watching a movie, going out to a bar, if we're having whiskey, if we're partying through New York, or almost falling asleep on the subway, riding a train.
You fell asleep.
Well, yeah, I did.
Kept awake for both of us.
Thank you.
I need to hear the story.
We had a lot of whiskey. We went to a friend's birthday party, and before we went there, this guy took me to try hot sauce at Heatonist, and I almost died. Nevertheless, we had some steak. Amazing. We had wine. You kind of see where this is going. We had wine.
Mind you, we bought this bottle of wine fully intending to share it with the table. But then you said we're filling our glasses.
I bought that for, it was for you and I and Nicole, the birthday girl. That's it. I wasn't going to pay the bottle was a little expensive. So it was like
it was pretty good.
It was like $100. Yeah. So it was like, I wasn't going to share that with like 10 people and then have like one sip of it myself.
Right.
I love Nicole, but I don't know her friends like that. Anyway. Yeah, and then I think we must have had beer or something. We must have played pool or whatever. So eventually we went home from Manhattan to Jay's home, to the Bronx, and like late night trains take a while to even kick off, and so the trip is like 40 minutes already.
Oh wow.
So it was a long ride, and so I just fucking fell asleep. Yeah, we had like a couple like making out next to close by to where we were.
Incredible. Oh my god.
You noticed? New York doesn't notice. We don't give a fuck.
New York doesn't notice.
Was this by any chance on the one train? Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, it was not on the Was it on the one? No, it was not on the one. It was on the D train, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The D train. It was so I think the couple that was making out, was she like sitting on his lap or something?
Oh wow.
Bro,
not sure.
It was a whole mess.
Yeah, it was a whole mess. So yeah, definitely.
It was a mess.
So she was. You could say she was riding the D train.
Wow.
Yo, dog, I heard you like riding the D, so I like to ride the D on the D, so you can ride the D while you're riding the D.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Jess, how has the bourbon like changed for you? Like, do you notice it like changing at all?
I definitely do. I definitely notice more spice notes, which is really something. Because when in the beginning, you feel like the sharpness, I feel I was interpreting as spice, but then like by like sip number 4, you're like, oh no, it's sweetness. But now by sip number maybe 35, I'm like, oh no, that sharpness was actually like distinctive different notes of different spices that are in this rye. And it's fabulous. I'm really enjoying it.
It's a bourbon, but it has a big rye component. Is the reason why there's so much rye in the taste. Also, I don't know if you could notice that maybe this is me because I have a lot of, I'm Venezuelan, and so we make a lot of corn-based meals. but I taste a bit of corn on it too.
I love corn. Yes, I feel like I only taste it because...
Right, I forgot you said you're corny.
I'm so corny. That's who I am.
That's our friendship there. Jokes left and right.
It's so true. Oh my gosh, especially because like I love corn. I am corny, but also like I'm primarily a bourbon drinker when it comes to whiskey, or like a sweeter note, like a sherry cask when it comes to scotch, because I definitely like sweeter notes, but I can definitely taste the corn in it, which makes me so happy. It feels like home.
I feel like if we were gonna make a trailer out of this whole thing, it would be kind of like, he is into too much whiskey. Jay is into cheese in the middle of the night. And Jessica is really corny.
Wait, do you guys want to hear a joke, speaking of corny?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
You guys prepare to have...
Franklin's like, sure, he doesn't want to.
I'm being careful. I'm staring at her like...
So prepare to have an incident like I did in Japan 2 summers ago, where I accidentally pissed myself because y'all are gonna piss yourselves.
I'm hard to get. I'm hard to make laugh sometimes.
What difference do teachers and trains have?
What difference do teachers and trains have?
Yes, or what is the difference between teachers and trains?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? I see her like starting to laugh, and I'm like, what's the difference? I'm making it impossible for her.
He's having a whole fit over there.
I'm making it impossible for her to talk.
If only the viewers could see her face right now.
Jessica, when you're trying to tell a joke, you cannot just freeze like that. The audience is supposed to laugh. You're supposed to tell the joke.
You guys, I cannot
It happened in
handle.
Seinfeld.
I have never laughed harder than when Franklin sprung his Jerry Springer impression on me. I did not expect it, and it's so good.
I was fucking saving it when we recorded that podcast, and the greatest thing, I mean, it lives in my memory, seeing you laugh so hard, but it was just kind of like you turned to your side and you just went like, ah! Like you just like it was one, and you bobbled your head. You just went like, ah! I couldn't hear you laughing, but you looked so fucking funny. Like you looked so funny.
Oh, one of my most treasured memories.
Yeah, so one of my...
It's recorded, for those who don't know.
But it's not video recorded. So that's the thing. I wanted to see her, I wish I had a recording of her just dying of laughter right there. So I am really trying to replicate that moment for the viewers and listeners at some point.
You got this. Honestly, you can do it. I believe.
All right, so tell
$1
million
million question. What's the difference between a train and a teacher?
Are you ready? Teachers go. No, trains go.
Jessica,
Okay.
I'm still trying to listen to your joke.
You're tearing me apart, Jessica.
You guys ready? Trains go choo choo. Teachers go don't choo choo the gum.
So bad.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to give you the roast hand. I have to give you the roast hand. I'm sorry.
What? Ay.
Look at her.
Sometimes I think about that joke and
You think
in
about this
public.
joke?
She thinks about this joke. Are you trying to tell me you've thought about better ways to deliver this joke? And this is what you come up with?
Oh, honey, we need a stand-up workshop for you. We're gonna make you fun at parties. Don't worry.
There is no thought that needs to go into the delivery of this joke because the writing is perfect.
Just like The Room.
Just like the writing, which brings us back. So my favorite quote from The Room. Wow! Oh my God! So it's a tie between two things. One, I laughed out loud. This is so funny to me. Not as funny as my joke, but this is pretty funny. When it's like a tense scene between Mark and Johnny and Lisa, and it's at Johnny's party, like his birthday party, and like Lisa's like, I have a good idea, let's go outside, and then she like brings Mark to stay inside, and it's like, this is a good time to hook up. This makes sense. She's like, where are you going?
It's so soap opera. It's so soap opera. It's like, yeah,
so soap opera, right? Yeah. Oh my God, like it's begging to be caught.
Dude,
I think you know that is interesting. I bet what's his name? Tommy Wiseau watched a lot of The Young and the Restless. I bet he was into the show and he got into American culture because the themes, you know, the movie just seemed like it was produced to be a The Young and the Restless episode, but it dragged on like too fucking long, you know?
Right? That's such a good observation too, especially like the set as well. It felt very much like Pier 1 imports, like everything very Young and the Restless, very like, let's paint one wall red and then leave the rest to ponder on. Like that is like very much what like the sets felt the same. Also the graininess felt the same. The wardrobe felt the same. The cascading hair felt the same. It's a good observation.
All right, I got one. Let's see if so this one I saw Sam Jackson say it. So Jessica, how do you catch a unique animal?
How do you catch one? How?
Unique up on it.
That's a good one.
And how do you catch a tame animal?
You tame on it?
The tame way, unique up on it. Hey, she's wobbling her head.
That's a keeper.
That's writing.
A keeper. That's incredible.
The saddest part is we're unironically laughing at these jokes. For the listeners at home.
Amazing.
Why was the guy's birthday so smelly?
Why was the guy's birthday so smelly?
He was turning farty.
Whoa, that's triggering. I know a lot of people, specifically in my family, for once they turned, like, I think it's like maybe closer to like 35, but like close to 40, that's when the IBS sets in. And I'm like, is this the prophecy? Like, is this... I'm nervous.
Yeah. I feel like everyone in my family who's over 40 has like a distinct smell to them.
Yes! Yes!
You get that hug and that kiss from that tia, and you're like, your perfume isn't on strong enough.
A little more.
Oh, good God.
Oh my God.
Yo, Jay, you want to tell the Cherry Hill joke? That's an old one. Like, you've been telling me this joke since we were like fucking 12, I think.
Bro, I thought it was so funny when I was 12. So a substitute is giving class for the first time in a new school that she doesn't know, and she is ready to start her day and do roll call, you know? And as she goes on through the day, okay, 4 or 5 absences in a day. Is that normal for this school? I don't know. Let's find out. But she's going through her lesson, and one student trickles in 5 minutes late. Sir, Mr. Stanford, why are you so late? I was on top of Cherry Hill, miss. I guess it must be a faraway address from here. Sure, just take your seat and get in class. I'm gonna have to mark you late, though. Okay. A few minutes later, of course, another student comes in. Why are you late, sir? Oh, I was on top of Cherry Hill. Oh, wow, okay. So it's not only that student. It must have been like a late bus. Maybe you missed the other one with the other student. I don't know. And as she goes on through her class, another 20 minutes later passes. It's already been 30 minutes late, and this woman shows up. This lass enters the class, and she's like, Miss, you're 30 minutes late to my class. Why are you late? And she's like, oh, I'm Cherry Hill.
No! No! No!
Yeah. The whiskey pug has the deep cuts.
We have the deep cut.
All right, I have one, Jessica. You might
when
like
I used
this
to tell that joke, I was like, were you on top of Cherry Hill too? I am Cherry Hill.
We were shocked. We were fucking shocked. We'd go like, oh,
I found that
this is
joke.
so mature for us, dude.
Yeah. Dude, being a 5th grader, hearing that joke for the first time.
Yeah. All right, Jess, you might like this one.
I'm excited.
How does Moses
I think we have to
make
cut
his
this
coffee?
out for post.
Oh no, this is staying.
Oh dear.
Jessica, how does Moses make his coffee?
He brews it!
He brews it!
I feel like that was on the back of a Laffy Taffy.
That one's old. I was like trying to think of old ones.
Bro,
The ones
jokes?
I know most of
Laffy
mine
Taffy
in Spanish. Anybody got any last Tommy Wiseau quotes?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, at the birthday party, my favorite quote is, so like when she brings him back in, Mark in, being like, let's fool around, which makes no sense because everyone's outside. Very young of the restless, asking for drama. And then later on in the party, Tommy has an altercation because he catches Lisa slow dancing with Greg because they're already in the mood. They're already like, they were interrupted the first time.
Mark?
So now like by some other character who we've never met for this scene. And then Johnny walks in on them slow dancing, which was very not private because it was in a room full of people when people came back from the outside. And he gets in a fight with Mark, his best friend, which is we're supposed to care about, but we have no reason to feel like they're best friends, so we don't care. And
get out of my house, I'll kill you.
Mark says, leave your stupid comments in your pocket, with as much seriousness as he can muster, and I almost peed my pants. I was like, this is the funniest.
You can leave your stupid comments in your pocket. And I was like,
what did you say? I can't hear you for
I
no
didn't
reason.
catch it before.
When he said like, you know what, bro? You can leave your stupid comments in your pocket.
I guess that was a cool guy thing to say.
He thought it was a cool guy thing to say. It was not. It was not.
You know what's
It was
interesting?
not.
It was not.
It was not.
Not.
It was not.
I always love the one, you're tearing me apart, Lisa! That one's always amazing.
That one's always gonna be a classic.
But I think
for me, I'm telling you, my favorite line is, haha, Every time he laughs.
No, that was Peter Griffin.
He just embodies the soul of Peter Griffin every time he laughs.
Wait. Let's. I haven't done this one in a while.
Oh dear.
All right, get it. Oh!
Hi Quagmire, how are you doing today?
What?
Hi Quagmire, how are you doing today?
All right. Wait, do you guys watch Big Mouth?
No.
I can't hear you, Jess.
Is muted.
We're having a crisis here.
You're having a crisis. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Welcome back, Crisis.
All right, so welcome back, Crisis. that was such a dad joke.
Oh my gosh, J-Lo, if I were your daughter, would you name me Crisis? I'd be so happy. Or Clarinet. Oh my gosh, my dream.
You know what, Jay? You could write it with a K. That would be so Dominican. Write it with a K, and instead of a last Y, I just put a Y. So Crisis. And so you name her like fucking Crisis, and people are like, oh, that sounds fancy. He's like, no, I just went through a really hard time when I named her.
I went through a hard time.
Anyway.
I didn't know if I could keep her. I wasn't sure I was gonna support the family.
So, you both watched Big Mouth?
Yeah.
Both of you?
No.
Well, have you seen some episodes? I think I showed you something. No?
Dude, I have to get on it. It's on my list.
All right. Well,
on my infinite list.
Jess, get ready for my hormone monster impression.
Yeah.
Hit him with a chair, brother.
Does that hurt?
I mean, I can do it for a few seconds and it's okay, but like Nick Kroll records a fucking show with that voice.
Shit, man.
Rage, fucking rage.
Yeah, every time. Have you ever heard like a horror movie, like a voice actor like speaking in like a way where he breathes in for every syllable? Yeah. That shit sounds like it's hard.
Right?
Recently in League of Legends, they re-released this basically a scarecrow character called Fiddlesticks, and he was one of the original characters in the game, right? So they re-released him with a full visual update and voice lines. And bro, the guy who does the voice acting for that shit knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, the entire time, all those voice lines is like this.
Oh my god.
And it's fucking terrifying. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. It sounds kind of like a Tether in Us. Did you guys see the movie Us?
Ooh.
Haven't yet, but
oh my god.
it's on the horror.
Another for the myth.
You know what?
Yeah.
I haven't. I need to watch horror movies.
Let's do it, especially for
Dude,
October.
have you watched Babadook? Yes,
oh my god, yes.
I haven't seen Babadook.
I love the memes.
It's like a bad classic.
I'm more of like, I've seen Sinister and I like Sinister was fucking great movie.
So
The Strangers is one of my favorite
good.
it's one of my favorite too fictitious horror movies, the ones where they don't have spells and shit.
Mm.
By the way, Jay Lewis, do you remember we would watch Trick or Treat?
Yes.
Yo, with Sam.
Trick or Treat, yeah.
Yes.
Trick or Treat and
I should get
Halloween.
a little Sam toy. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We have to do the whole podcast for October. We should do a Halloween special.
Kind of like
Let's
what they used to
spooky.
have in ABC Family. Was it 30 days of Halloween? 30 days of
Ooh. I'm not recording.
ABC
Families,
30 Days of Halloween. Man, I used to watch that shit. That's the first time I saw the Boogeyman,
Yeah.
on TV.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
it's okay. If you see those effects now, you're gonna be like, A great movie that doesn't grow old is a White Noise.
I actually
White
never
Noise
seen
freaks me the fuck out till this day.
Wow.
Anyway, wrapping up. before we go on
all the tangents.
All the tangents. I mean,
Wait.
we can take a pause and just come back if you guys want to keep talking about the movie for a little bit.
I just thought about
I don't mind.
a tie-in from the Babadook to the Room, and then we can finish up. The tie-in is that the Babadook is about a dirty magician, and Tommy Wiseau looks like a dirty magician. There we go. That's my tie-in, and now on to you.
She's bowing for the crowd.
Yeah, Louis,
Now you guys, I'll go agree.
She's lost her marbles.
Oh my goodness, it was hard for me to say magician on my second glass. I have no tolerance.
That sounds like we should wrap it up. She can't speak English anymore, Frank.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, this movie is unintentionally hilarious, and that in a way makes it more hilarious. It's a serious attempt at making something good, and it is terrible at the same time, but yet it somehow succeeded in a way that culture has brought it back. It's become a cult classic. Tommy Wiseau is a mystery to generations and generations to come, and they even made an Oscar-worthy or Oscar-nominated movie based on the making of this movie, which I thought is such a hilarious concept, but the movie in itself was amazing. So, The Room, watch it. Maybe if you're drunk and if you haven't seen the Watch Mojo compilation videos. If you have, it's gonna be a long watch.
Watch it with friends in a group where you can all react to everything.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's probably the best way to go about it.
That's the best way to go about it.
Or watch
So
live
any Tommy Wiseau lines to sign us off?
Oh, a good sign-off one. A good sign-off one is
Mark.
like... Oh, bye, Mark!
I can redo
Oh,
that.
wait, doesn't he say like bye-bye?
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'll do it one more time. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
So good.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was really, really fun. Hope the jokes weren't too lame. All right.
Oh.
Bye, guys.
I hope they were extremely lame. Bye, guys.
Bye.